Order! Order! You are an incorrigible delinquent at times. Behave yourself, man!
Tax officials have suggested that a post-Brexit customs system being considered by ministers would cost businesses up to £20 billion a year. They said the option, known as Max FAC, would leave companies having to pay £32.50 for each customs declaration. The other customs option, known as a partnership, would cost considerably less, but either system could take up to 5 years to be put in place. Business editor Simon Jack reports.
They roll on, they roll off. Goods moving between the UK and the EU through Dover with no customs checks. The English Channel, no more significant a border than the Mersey, the Thames or the Clyde. But after Brexit, that will change. And the head of UK Customs told MPs today, analysing the government's two alternatives was a big job.
You know, we've employed more than 1,100 staff working on Brexit now. I think 2 is enough.
So what are those two options? Option 1 is a streamlined customs process, or maximum facilitation, Max FAC for short. It uses new technology like number plate recognition and clearance away from the border. Regular and trusted traders accredited with customs could speed through. There would be exemptions for small businesses, resulting in minimal friction at the border, but not zero, and HMRC said this option would come with a massive price tag.
You need to think about the highly streamlined customs arrangement costing businesses somewhere in the late teens of billions of pounds to
I've started to lose count now at the number of billions.
But, you know, so somewhere between 17 and 20 billion.
Wow. What about option 2? Well, that is a new customs partnership. The UK would collect tariffs on goods arriving from outside the EU on its behalf. Tariffs for goods headed to the EU would be handed over. For goods staying in the UK, we could offer refunds if we decided on a lower tariff. Great advantage, no hard border between the UK and the EU. But it could take 5 years to implement because it's complicated.
In the new customs partnership, I think we're being clear with you that the dual tariff would be there, that the repayment mechanism would take a bit longer because it requires some fairly significant further technology, and then businesses themselves they need to decide whether they're going to engage with that technology, and they may themselves require some further technology build.
Let's be honest, outside this building, very few people had even heard of a customs union a couple of years ago. But the mechanism by which goods flow between the UK and the EU is critical for business, have become central to this negotiation. Now, both customs options on the table are untried and untested, could take years, and with 10 months to go before we officially leave the EU, businesses are still in the dark. Businesses like fizzy drink maker Corsten Press, who exports 7 million cans to the EU every year. They don't know what to do.
In terms of taking specific actions, we haven't done anything because we just don't know. There is no clarity. You know, we could spend a lot of time developing solutions for a situation which isn't going to arise.
Business lobbying groups are clear what the government should do.
What we think this says is that until we have a solution that can eradicate this cost, the UK should remain in a customs union with the European Union.
Till a decision is made, Brexit remains held up at customs. Simon Jack, BBC News.
Lots to pack in. Let us move on to the Financial Times and then on to the other papers. First of all, HMRC has warned of the Brexit implications of the maximum facilitation means of having a customs arrangement.
The Boris Johnson-Michael Gove system, up to £20 billion because it'd be so bureaucratic, filling in so many forms.
With a technology that doesn't yet exist,
may not for 5 years. I think we're going to get it from TSB. John Thompson, the head of the HMRC, asked about this at the Treasury Select Committee. It's going incredibly well, I think, Brexit, isn't it? I mean, it's just unanimity in the Cabinet, not Tory party.
More unanimity in the Cabinet than the shadow Cabinet. What's their customs union proposal today?
Let's just finish.
The customs union proposal for the Labour Party today. They've got one.
No, Labour's split. But
you never mention that, Kevin. You never mention that unless you have to.
And as Dominic Cummings, who led the Leave campaign, has said tonight, look, this could be a train wreck. This is not
Which bit? That bit?
No, the entire Brexit.
Oh,
he's blaming it on officials.
Okay.
He's saying, look, this is somebody who he didn't say it was going to be a train wreck when he came up with a crucial 350 million.
But focusing on this HMRC warning, the suggestion is if it does cost between 17 billion and 20 billion, that is about twice the cost of Britain's net annual contribution to the EU budget.
His figures from, because how does he know?
Because he's done all the transactions, the number of forms he would have to do.
We've seen quite a lot of crystal ball gazing from these people before, and they made all these doom and gloom.
The average cost of a customs declaration, sorry, it's in the FT. I know you don't like it.
But somebody has to work out whether these things are viable or costly or not.
Well, £32.50 each, and it's the number you'll have to do. Now, it might come down.
I would take
it. This is not easy, and it was promised to be easy. Remember Liam Fox, big Brextremist, easiest trade deal in history, he said. How has he still got a job as International Trade Secretary? How was he still?
I take it all with a pinch of salt, just like we did with Project Fear. Same old, same old.
Project Fear was 76 million Turks are going to come to Britain. And,
no, Kevin, it was
economic overrun by Syrian refugees.
Armageddon. Interest rates were going to sort.
They haven't gone up.
Unemployment is now at a 45-year low. Stock market's at a record high. We're doing very well. Thank you, Project Fear.
So let's go to the Daily Mail.
Yeah, this is a really good scoop in the Daily Mail, actually.
Right.
They've got hold of this is the pro-Remain group backed by George Soros. Now, George Soros is a Hungarian-born billionaire. He's not British. He doesn't vote in Britain. And he is funding, to the tune of millions of pounds, a pro-Remain group which has set up a long strategy about how they're going to stop Brexit in its tracks. It's backed by the Labour peer, Lord Malloch-Brown. And if you go inside, you can see each month there's a different part of the strategy,
this
including
is page 7, isn't it? Let's have a look.
Including blame. Part of I've seen more of the details. Part of the plan is blame potholes on Brexit. They're going to blame all sorts of issues that go wrong.
Is that in here?
This is in this document. It's not on that page.
Why is it not in there? Some reporter not left this really good bit.
No, Kevin, because we've only got a bit of the page. We haven't got.
There's the rest of the page. Did you want all of that? Oh, I see. It's not. We haven't got all of it.
We've only got bits of it.
Potholes. Well, so somebody left it out. That's dreadful.
So anyway, this is a campaign funded by a billionaire.
If he's so foreign, why does he care about being the best for Britain?
Well, this is a man who made a lot of money out of Britain before. When we came out of the exchange rate mechanism, you made billions of pounds betting against the pound.
So he's quite good at betting on what the right thing to do is.
And he held a meeting at a dinner at his Chelsea home with the woman who runs this organisation, Best for Britain or something, who refuses to say who was at the dinner because they're not very transparent and open despite their claims. And I think people will be fed up that a foreign billionaire is funding a campaign to try and overturn the referendum.
He lived here and made a lot of money here, and he funds civil groups right around the world. That's what he does.
Okay.
The Hungarian, very right-wing...
he should back out of it.
Very right-wing reactionary government. He's Jewish, so they turn on him. There's anti-Semitism over there. I mean, I think it's fair enough to criticise him away from the anti-Semitism. But of course, a group campaigning to overturn Brexit and keep Britain in, of course, they're going to have a strategy. The Brexit groups will have a strategy just like this.
Well, they should find someone, Kevin, who's British, who has a say in Britain, rather than a foreign billionaire. That's my point.
Well, they have others. It's not solely funding it. He is giving money.
Writing a large cheque for all of this.
He is giving it.
And it stinks, actually. And I think people will not approve of it.